ku byo abandi bakora nabo twemeranyije. Iyo badakoze ibyo twemeranyije, ubwo birumvikana ko bifite ingaruka ku byo natwe tugomba gukora, kuko twemeye kubikora kandi tuzabikora ari uko n'abandi buzuza uruhande rwabo. Rero kandi ibi nibidakora, tuzakomeza dushakisha inzira iyo ari yo yose. Igihe inzira itaraboneka yo gukemura ibibazo uko bikwiriye kuba bikemuka, u Rwanda narwo ruzakomeza gukora ibishoboka byose kugira ngo rurinde abanyarwanda, rurinde igihugu aho kubura umutekano bitewe n'uko abandi twumvikanye batuzuza ibyabo byangombwa. Ibyo rero ni uguhora abantu bashakisha uburyo, nibyo tuzakora, nibyo twebwe tureba imbere yacu.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Lionel Ditavidier. I work for the Pan-African Review. Since we are on the topic of Congo, in 2012, during Umushikirano, you gave a speech in which you criticized powerful countries, mainly Western powers, for scapegoating Rwanda, imposing sanctions in an attempt to reshape our region to their liking. You even mentioned that they were they considered us as sheep to be,
slaughtered,
yes.
Wherever.
So you used Rwandans to be self-reliant. You used the term which has deeper meaning, I think, kwigira, and to ensure that they will never again be made to carry the blame for crimes committed by others. So my question is, more than a decade later, how close has Rwanda come to achieving the kind of self-reliance you envisioned?
Yeah, for Rwanda, I can account for everything you ask me to account for. What I can't account for is what others have been doing, because those 13 years ago and what I said, Rwanda has constantly been changing. But those powerful countries and how they see us, or maybe see other Africans, has really not changed. It's the same story, and it is what I've just been talking about. They still don't care. Not only do they not care, they actually want to stop you caring for yourself. That's the biggest problem. But for Rwanda, the progress we have made, and especially of taking care of ourselves, I mean, the story speaks for itself. Do you know that, by the way, with Eastern Congo, just before the fall of Goma and Bukavu and other parts, what had been assembled by government and those they called their allies and so on and so forth, assembled in numbers of people, men and women, assembled in weaponry, assembled in terms of mobilizing even support of other countries politically, support that, you would not believe it. But what happened, and you know it. When you saw it, it was Rwanda saying it won't happen here again. That just doesn't come anyhow. You have to have made progress on many fronts to be able to stand for yourself and respond to all the things that are brought your way to destroy you. So I think that story may speak for itself for many years. If we hadn't been building the unity of purpose, the strength to preserve ourselves and live, this Rwandan cannot live on the whims of others. No. It happened, and I've told you even this last year's April, it happened once. It will never happen again. Once was too many times. For the second one, somebody else will pay for it. They will be the ones to go. They will be the ones to perish, not Rwanda again. That one, take it from, I have repeated it. It's not bragging, it's not, it's an act of survival. We don't owe our living to anyone. Never will it happen again.
Your Excellency, may we take a short break and come back for the next segment of this conversation?
Let's take one and then...
One more? Okay, Anangwe? And then...
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Eugene Anangwe. I'm the CEO and founder of East Africa Media Group. We do a lot of mentorship and training for media to just change the narrative about media in Rwanda and the region. I'll start first of all by saying thank you for the work you did and all the gallant soldiers to give us a country. I would like to move us away a bit from the DRC conversation and bring it back to 31 years ago. Before the liberation struggle, there was your personal story, the convictions, the thing that made you feel like I need to rise up and fight for my country. And Mr. President, I want to invite you to download the Untold, those moments that you remember today, and when you look back, you say, this was a worthwhile fight for my country. Maybe let's start there, and then we can continue later.
Yeah, that's a bit complicated, but I'll try. At the beginning, when I was talking about this whole 31 years being a tough but enjoyable story, I meant the tough side was what was confronted and dealt with, being of such a magnitude that for the half-hearted, they would just collapse under the weight of it first day. But fortunately, we had many people who were up to the task and who were ready and able to give it all, because it meant everything to them. When something means everything to you, then you give everything to make sure it is in good hands. But it was tough. That one